Hello, good evening, and welcome to the full-time Reds from the LFC Daytrippers. I'm Gav, and it's Rangers 1, Liverpool 7 from Ibrox tonight. Emmet will be joining me in the next 10 minutes or so because he said he'd come on. Chris and Kev couldn't hold their nerve any longer after a run of defeats. So I stepped in, and when I step in, we win 7-1. So that's great, isn't it? Listen, an awful lot to go through in that game. How bad Liverpool were with 25 minutes, how they got themselves back into it and ahead, and then how they just tore Rangers apart as the game went on. People will take that with a pinch of salt, that fact that it was Rangers, and that's absolutely fine, but there was bits in that game where I looked and went, that looks a bit more like us, and little things went right, and our attitude changed, and I think it's a really good win. A really, really good win for Liverpool. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit it. Hit it there. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. All good. If you can do them, that's absolutely perfect. And we have got your comments up on screen while we're live tonight, so I'll read out as many as I can as I go along. Throw whatever you can in there because I'm going to need them in the next 10-15 minutes before I can actually talk to Emmet. But do you know what, we'd start where we always start, and that's the lineup. Me and Keith done a preview show last night. I think we were a mile off. I think we had Alisson, we had Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, Tsimikas. We weren't too sure on what the midfield might be. He went with Firmino and Henderson. We might have had that, but then up front I thought it was going to be Jota left, Salah right, Firmino behind Diaz. I thought he was going to go really strong, but he doesn't. He puts Carvalho and Elliott in there. He keeps Firmino in behind Núñez, and that was absolute. Did I say Diaz a second ago? He puts Firmino in behind Núñez, and you know what? I'm not saying I was a bit concerned, but I was like, are we taking this a little bit too lightly with those changes? Just the wide areas. I thought he'd go for one experienced player at least in the wide areas, but he didn't. He went with Carvalho and Elliott, and it turns out to be a really, really important night for both of them on different levels. Let me read out some of your comments while we go. Jesus, Gav, pulling rank when we win big. No, that's not true. I was doing tonight. In fairness, Chris had something on tonight, and he told me about a week ago, which is cool. Kev's internet is acting up all day, so we decided that I was going to do it on my own, but Emmet is available from 10:15, so I'm only slagging when I say that the lads lost their nerve and dropped the full-time Red show. They haven't. Arsenal for Life is quite a thumping. It was in the end, but there was bits and pieces there. That you could look at and go, still needs to improve. Where was this on Sunday? Are we talking about, Arsenal for Life asked, where was this on Sunday? Are we talking about the lines that should have been drawn on the pitch? I don't know. Nobody still hasn't found the lines. In fairness, Gav, 4 days in a row, mate, you're going to be the new YouTube logo at this rate. You have done a lot of shows, haven't you? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think I'm back on tomorrow. I think I'm on Friday as well with the lads. And I'll be back on Sunday. So, is the quad back on? Was it ever off? Jake asks, is the quad still on? I don't know if it was ever off. No, it's definitely on. Definitely on. We're going to win everything now again. Everything. Let me see. A 1-0 down, Kevin Brackey called in sick. No, I've explained that. In fairness to them. Let me see. Was benching Salah supposed to be a rocket or just resting him for City? Asked Cormac. No, definitely resting him. He's 100% playing against City. Even then, he goes out and does that tonight. And look, you have to look at who we scored the goals against tonight. You have to look at that in a certain thing. But Firmino keeping up good form. Salah coming on and get a hat-trick. And Chris sent me something there earlier. He's seen that apart from Steven Gerrard and Steve Staunton, he's only the third player to ever come off the bench and score a hat-trick for Liverpool, which is cool, isn't it? That's a really good stat. But look, it's definitely rotation. He looked to rest a couple of players going into that City game on Sunday, which is absolutely fine, I suppose. You know, I just expected to maybe rest one less, which then again, if you rested one less, you're probably only resting one, aren't you, when you look at the team that was out there tonight. Brilliant result for the up-and-coming games is Archie Doolan. Archie Doolan, fair play to you, Gav. The Lions. I'm just waiting to see if Arsenal for Life is talking about the Lions. VVD was shocking again, by the way, says William Henry. We'll get on to that. going to go through a couple of players that looked a bit off and a bit nervous. Mohammed says, I love seeing your head on the channel, Gav. Love all the boys and girls, but you're definitely the best. Now, listen, people are going to accuse you of being related to me by saying stuff like that. But thanks a million. I'm on too much. I'm being honest. It's just the way this week is falling. I usually try to take a couple of nights off to do other stuff, work related, but it's just the way it's fallen this week that I've been on. But look, the lineup, the back four picked itself. The goalkeeper obviously picks itself. There was a talk in midfield, and I actually thought it'd be Thiago and Fabinho, but you could make argument for leaving any of them out for different reasons. I think Fabinho's been very poor, so he's probably played him to try to get him into a bit of form. I think Henderson's form has dropped game on game for me over the last 5 or 6 he's played, and I don't think Thiago's been at his best, but he's the one you probably want to protect the most going into Sunday. So that midfield, absolutely fine. I'm delighted Núñez started because I just want him to start every game. Firmino had to start with the injury to Diaz. I think Firmino has to start. He's perfect for what they're looking to do. I'm in that position to play, and I've put forward the idea of Elliott playing there. But Firmino's just he's great in there. You know, even help him back, and then he has that lovely bit of vision at times. You know. And I suppose when I seen Carvalho there, I just thought it's a big night. Ibrox is an intimidating place to go and play, but he grew into the game as it went on. And Elliott gets a goal towards the end, which we'll talk about, and really came to life in the second half. Couple of moments in the first half, but really came to life for me in the second half. So delighted for him. But I want to talk about the first 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes, because Liverpool were so poor. And I'm not against going up to Ibrox, and Liverpool are a bit shaky confidence-wise, and the way we're playing, and, you know, just this 4-2-4 or 4-2-3-1, whatever way you want to look at it. And I gave out stink on Sunday night about going away to Arsenal, who are in good form, are top of the league, or were second in the league at the time, but win to go top. And I gave out stink about the fact that going out there and going gung-ho and getting ahead of the ball and, you know, getting caught so early. So I wasn't against Liverpool going to Ibrox, despite what we perceived to be the standard of Rangers. I wasn't against the fact of, or the idea of coming out and settling into this game. Take 15 minutes to settle in, see what they're about, see what they're trying to do, snuff it out, try play our game from there, and just quieten the crowd a bit and get ourselves comfortable in what we were trying to do. Wasn't against that, but just settling in and getting yourself, you know, acclimatized to what's going on. But then there was what went on in the first 20. You know, we weren't holding the ball up front. We weren't winning in midfield. They were getting down the side of us. They were getting at us. Just wasn't right. You know, Ryan Kent has one that's not far away. There's a ball to yeah, man. I just call him Fashion because I keep getting the second name wrong. One to the back post there, and you're kind of going, still a bit ropey, and the goal infuriated me. You know, Scott Arfield scores a goal, and don't get me wrong, it's a good run. If you take it in the context of what the midfielder does, he anticipates that ball being won, he makes a good run, he gets a good ball, he takes a good touch, and it's a really good finish. To go across Alisson like that and score is a really good finish. Don't take that away from him. But when you look at what Liverpool done for that goal to make it 1-0, Sakala, says Oshie McGlinchey. Yeah, Fashion Sakala. Sorry, I keep getting it wrong. But when you look at it from a Liverpool point of view, the ball's into Carvalho, and he probably tries to do too much with it. And what I mean by that is he's trying to take it out of his feet inside and look to open up the game, when probably holding it and looking for your fullback or something like that, or just holding it and getting some support. Maybe you could throw it at Carvalho about that. Okay? But when the ball is lost, you have Núñez is up front, you have Firmino beside him, okay, you have Carvalho's on the ball, you've got Elliott, who's not in the worst position in the world, but Jordan Henderson is standing 15 yards ahead of the ball as a holding midfielder, while Liverpool have the ball 35 yards from their own goal. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing there? Jordan Henderson should not be nowhere near up that far up the pitch. He should be on line with where Firmino is. Firmino is slightly ahead of the ball, but he's probably looking for that ball inside. Okay? Arfield makes a run and Henderson doesn't look at it and doesn't go with it. Okay? So that's the first problem. The ball the ball across the box or the ball towards Arfield, Konate sells himself by trying to get to it. If he holds his ground and lets Arfield get it, he probably gets himself into an opportunity where he can affect what Arfield's doing. Gomez can't get back across quick enough, and as I said, it's a good finish. But I was going mad over it because the two midfielders in there are meant to be the sort that you're never really ahead of the ball. All right, never really ahead of the ball unless you're on a massive break and you go ahead of the ball. But Jordan Henderson should be 20 yards deeper, and he should be an option for A, Carvalho, or B, if it gets to Fabinho, he's the next man over, and then you look to spring Elliott or into Nunes or into Firmino's feet or in behind for Nunes. So the first goal was awful. Or their only goal, sorry, I thought it was awful. And we go 1-0 down. Jonathan says first half is a shambles. Start like that against City, we could be 3 down. It was, do you know what? Not the whole first half. I thought the first 10, listen, they were always going to come out. They were always going to have a go, try to be really intense, move the ball quick, get the ball into their wide men. Yeah, it's I've no problem with that. But as this went on, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring Emmet in here now, so just give me 1 second. Let me see. And boom, Emmet.
All right.
How are you? We haven't got too far. I was just talking about the goal for Rangers, and I was just saying that, as much as it's a good run, it's a good ball, good finish. Jordan Henderson for me is too far up the pitch. Konate sells himself with the ball into Arfield, and after that he's in the middle of our goal with plenty of time, and it's a good finish. But a lot of people in the chat are saying that the first half overall was appalling. I wasn't against the 10 minutes of sitting back at the start and just finding ourselves, but as it went on, Emmet, it was like, are we going to start playing at any stage here? Are we going to fucking start doing anything? Like, were you getting a few of them vibes as well?
Yeah, look, it's always going to be tough going to Ibrox. No matter what anybody says, it's Scottish League or whatever. It's like an absolute cauldron. So that they've got whatever, I think it's 50,000 fans baying for red blood. And then the players obviously will be buoyed by that, and they literally were just running around, pressing us all over the pitch. So it was kind of it was always going to be a kind of having to all hands to the pump for the first while. But yeah, like you said, after a while, it was like, right, okay, we need to get our foot on the ball here now. Like they've had their little kind of spell of pressure, but I just think we were running around like in 6s and 7s. We were playing balls that, like, it's hard to describe. It's just our passing. We weren't taking enough care of our passing. We weren't looking after the ball well enough. And that's what it was. It was rushed passes, and then they were turning over possession. I don't know how many times, even Elliott, as good as a game he had in the first half, there was times he was just hooking the ball over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Henderson did it again. And all they're doing is they're straight back to their defenders, and then they're back down our throats again. So it was just screaming out for someone just to get the ball down and pass it around.
But you see, like, we've been talking so much about Liverpool's game management and applying themselves, and is it they haven't got in them anymore to run? But as I said, the first 10 minutes, if you're gonna set yourself up in a way that you want to just ease yourself into the game, quieten the crowd a bit and stuff like that, fine. But Liverpool are letting Rangers onto them too much, where you're not going to quieten them down, because if they keep getting a small bit of encouragement from stuff, they're going to just keep going, and this is going to go on for 20, 30, 40 minutes rather than 5 or 10. But I just, like, going to the goal itself, and I've explained to people watching, but Emmet, I'm sorry, if you have Carvalho and you have Elliott, two young fellas playing wide, right? You know you have Firmino's trying to play off Nunes. Henderson and Fabinho shouldn't be ahead of that ball. 40 yards, 35 yards, 40 yards in Liverpool's goal. Even if we have it, they should not be ahead of that ball. And I said it there a minute ago. Henderson is way too far forward. Arfield runs off him and he just turns and starts jogging back as if someone else will do it. Now, don't get me wrong, Konate is probably too rash trying to come out and cut out that ball, and he gets done, but the two of them should be in front. Like, if Henderson's 15 yards inside there, he cuts out Arfield, right, or 15 yards deeper, he cuts out Arfield for that, right? But if Carvalho doesn't lose the ball, it gets to Firmino, it gets to Henderson, and you look at Elliott, and Elliott's in the prime position to break up the far end. You've got space to go into Firmino, and if Firmino comes short, you have the other option of going over the top for Núñez. But if we were going to play these two holding midfielders and four essentially forwards, you can't have Henderson weave the ball 40 yards from our goal. He's in the middle of the park. You just can't.
Well, that's the whole idea of a six, is that you're sitting just in front of the back four, and neither of them were there. Firmino was out on the left wing, and Henderson was being sucked towards the ball as well. But like you said, he was actually ahead of the ball. And the whole point is that you're behind the ball. Yeah, it was just Arfield, for some reason, I always remember him scoring against us, even at Bourne. He's always done well. It is a great finish. I don't think he kicks it right. But
it's a great finish.
It doesn't matter whether you're playing Rangers or whether you're playing Man City. You can't be giving a team that amount of space in the middle of the park.
It's not even like, because when Carvalho gets dispossessed, it kind of pings into someone and then it's pulled across. It's kind of hurried. It's a bit hurried than what's going on. But for me, if Henderson is where he's meant to be, that ball doesn't reach Arfield. Well, he's running with Arfield anyway because he'll see him coming. And secondly, it doesn't get to him. And then Konate doesn't have to try intercept. But Konate doesn't have to try intercept anyway. If Konate holds where he is, like he's literally going right, it's literally Arfield stopping the ball 25 yards from goal, and Konate's looking down the barrel of Ibou Konate, and Konate's going, right, come on, let's go and see where you want to go with this, and I'll snuff it out. But I think Henderson and Konate are both at fault. I think Henderson's too far up the pitch. I think Konate sells himself a little bit, and we're 1-0 down, and I was worried, Emma, because Rangers are no good. Right? But that crowd behind them, any little bit of encouragement, and the place goes fucking mental. That sort of way. But in fairness, Liverpool see it out. It's a couple of minutes there where it's very fucking dodgy. But they see it out and they get an equaliser, and Firmino is, and I seen on Twitter, someone said it's 2022 and Roberto Firmino is carrying Liverpool. I didn't see this coming. But it's a really good header. It's very, very intelligent what he does. I think Rangers are a bit poor in it. I don't know if it's Tavernier, I think, is marking him.
He steps away from the...
Yeah, I think he could be a bit stronger. But it was great to get a goal so soon, because I didn't want that to go on 35-40 or even half-time, 1-0 down. You're like, this is going to be a fucking unmitigated disaster. But it was great to get the goal back, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a very similar to goal Firmino got. I think it might have been last season's Champions League. I can't remember who it was against. But it was near post header again. Yeah, that's right. Away at Inter.
Yeah, Robertson free corner.
Yeah,
he heads it into the far corner.
Yeah, he loves just getting across that front post, like. But it's the Rangers defender didn't help himself, but like you've seen Bobby score those goals so many times. Like, it was a cracking header, like, just to get to it, like, you know what I mean? Everybody's expecting them to be aiming for Konate, Van Dijk, Núñez, and there's Bobby popping up at the front post.
Yeah.
But when we went 1 down, I took out my jersey. I've only ever wore this jersey once before, and it was a Champions League final.
Oh, you are there's something wrong with you. Like, you don't drink out of cups. You took the jersey off, you're stripping down naked. You realise you had your Liverpool boxers on for Christmas. Took them off as well. Just sitting bollock naked in the gaff, refusing to drink at.
So, but I went back home and we got the equaliser. I thought, no, maybe not. So, it was great to get back into it. And I think, like you said, especially just before, you didn't want to be going in to half-time a goal down. Because, again, that gives them that half-time, the crowd are still singing through. They were cheering every tackle, every throw-in, every time they got the toe on a ball. And look, Anfield is probably the masters at that. We've done that to other teams. Yeah. We've done it to Barcelona. Like, so we've done it to everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not as... everybody goes, this is Rangers, but it's different. And as much as we've had teams that are coming to Anfield that are probably likely to, or you would expect to be, no one expected us to beat Barcelona at that time.
No.
But it's the same kind of atmosphere that you're going into. It's just, it is the 12th man, and they can make a difference. And I'm just glad that we kind of steadied the ship, and they were never going to be able to keep up that pace. We do say that about some Premier League teams. And again, not to take away from Rangers, it's probably not as high a standard as the Premier League, but there was absolutely not a hope in hell they were going to keep up that pressure and that pressing for them.
But the only thing that would have kept them up at it was the fact that Liverpool kept giving them the ball or hesitating on stuff and missing passes. And as much as it takes out of them chasing and doing that, it takes a lot out of you if you're not hitting the right pass or you're dithering on fucking things, and they're not quite getting on top of you, but it gets into your head, and all of a sudden you get dragged down to that level. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it is getting dragged down to a level. Like, let's not fucking mix our words here. Rangers' level is nowhere near Liverpool's level. So they are looking, and Klopp said it before when he's been at Liverpool, we need to drag them down to their level. And what he means by that is, what we're really good at, we're going to drag them down and make them do that. And Rangers would have loved that to become a big scrap in midfield and tackles flying in and balls fucking flying out for throw-ins near the corner flag and everyone fucking squeezing in on Liverpool and see what happens. But to get that goal, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Andy Kaufman says tonight is sweeter than a Keith Plunkett ballad. I wouldn't go that far. Keith Plunkett's ballads are fucking exceptional.
Well, look, can I just say, we've spoken an awful lot about this team being tired, and there's nothing worse than having to chase the ball. And what happens is when they're pressing you, you're making passes that probably aren't 100% on, which means it's coming straight back at you, which means you're having to chase your man. So if you are already tired, you're only making yourself even worse, having to chase and chase and chase. Yeah. So it does just need somebody to get the foot on the ball and just keep it for a while, rather than just pinging it straight back to them.
Yeah, and I think
it's playing into their hands big time.
Yeah, and I think you've seen in the second half, when we get into it, Liverpool start keeping the ball a bit better and start moving it a bit better and committing Rangers in, little deft little touches and stuff like that. I think it was just kind of opened Rangers up a little bit. 260 watching, 96 likes, so try get that to 200 if you can. Jono must be in the house because the first unlike is there now, so he must have hit the unlike button just as he arrived in. Fair play to him, love the commitment, Jono. But look, it's 1-1 at half time, and I actually thought he might make a change. I genuinely did. I thought he might make a change in one of the wide areas. He's done it a few times with Carvalho. He's got 45 and he's whipped him. But he doesn't. He sticks with it. He knows he has his 5 subs, so he's probably thinking, let this go for 15 and see what happens. And Liverpool come out at the start of the second half, and I think it's a bit of a slow start again, if I can remember right. And I'm trying to remember loads here because there's another fucking 7 goals or something to talk about. Or 6, sorry. But I have to give huge credit for this goal that we score, right? On a number of levels. One, Elliott's touch is brilliant, right? Because it would have been easy for him to be bundled over or try take it inside and protect it, but he doesn't. It's a lovely little touch to Gomez. Gomez gallops down the right, but it's measured. It's not like he's just flying because he's not even running full pelt. You'll see him. That is not Joe Gomez at full speed. He gets down there. Firmino picks up a brilliant position off the back of the defender, and Gomez hits a fucking great ball into him. Like, it's a bit unorthodox the way he does it, but it's a brilliant ball into him. First time, left foot finish under the keeper, and I wasn't worried for a second after that, Emma, because not only because we've gone 2-1 up, but the type of goal we've just scored there, it was like, muscle memory was starting to come back as a fan. Never mind a player that scored a goal of the way we scored a goal. Muscle memory as a fan started coming back there. You know what I mean? So I was absolutely delighted, and I fucking love Bobby Firmino. I really do. I love him.
Yeah, it was kind of a Joey Alexander Gomez ball into the box, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And another typical Bobby finish as well.
Jono says, Gav, I'm starting to take it personally. You keep saying I unlike the vids. I always show the channel love. There's 2 unlikes now there, Jono. I'm always going to blame you on one of them. if that's okay. Even though I probably know it's not you, but I'm definitely blaming you. But I know who the other person is. Because the other person has told me they do this and they don't like us. So that's definitely Jono and Muller. No, it's definitely someone that does not like us. Genuinely, they told me one day, which is great crack. And I'm amazed that they keep doing it. But as I said, I love the commitment. But it gets us 2-1 up, Emma. It gets us 2-1 up. And you know what? I just wasn't worried. And he's on some run, isn't he?
Where would we be without him? And he was supposed to leave in the summer. Like, look, you'll get people say, somebody else would have scored him. But look, he's my favourite, and I think he's probably Keith, and I'm not sure what Shawnee said he's a favourite as well. But he's my favourite player of the Klopp era. I know he's there just before him, but I love him. Yeah, he just, when he's on form, like, when they say that when he plays well, we win, basically. And I just see him kind of. I've always said that I'd like to see him maybe his position change slightly, not an out and out number 9. Well, he was never really an out and out number 9, but more of a, if we're going to be changing formation, for him to be kind of playing just behind Núñez in a 3, say, in more of a 10 role. And he has played a few times there in recent games, and look, he's getting the goals. Maybe he needed to change. Maybe there's not as much responsibility on his shoulders as what you would class as being our goal scorer or our number 9. That he has a little bit more freedom in the games.
How crucial is he? And I don't mean only the goals, because when I look at him, I think he might have a massive say on how other players get themselves back into form, i.e. Salah. I think you'd have a really big say on this kind of run Núñez is starting to go on, because I think he's a good foil for Núñez. That movement that Núñez has across the back line and stuff, Bobby's the sort of fella that can pull people away and make space for them passes to Núñez, or find them himself, as you see later on in the game. Plus, I think he always kind of plays well with Jota. I think Jota likes playing with him. So how big is he? And then as that forward person, he's very good at dropping off and hounding a defensive midfielder from the opposition. So how big could he be in regards to the other players around him, plus the system that we're trying to implement here, when we might need to just drop someone in, like we've done in a 4-3-3 before, where the forward drops in and says, right, I'll drop in there and do that. But now he has another fella ahead of him anyway, even when he drops in.
And it kind of gives him more kind of freedom to do that, dropping in with somebody ahead. But I mean, you have to, like, I think he could be massive. Like, yeah, you go back to 17, 18, and like, he was part of that front 3. I'm not sure whether that front 3 works as well without Bobby. What's to say there can't be a resurgent in Bobby now in a front 4, where it's. Yeah. I mean, there's not as much responsibility on him. But you're right in what you're saying, that when he's dropping in there, or he's pulling defenders away, there's nobody better than a little cheeky ball through into the box. We've seen it countless times for Mane and Salah, and that could be where, and like you said, we'll talk about it later, where Núñez picks up his playing off the shoulder of the centre half, and Bobby just playing a little ball through. That's where he's going to pick up. I think Stephen Ellis says Firmino. I think he could be crucial. I really do, and I think it should be a case that he becomes that kind of 10 role more so than in a 4-3-3.
Yeah, great comment here from I want to say Sukbir Sekon, and I hope I've said that right. Was that sparky enough for Dietmar Hamann? Yes, it was. Listen, the more abuse Dietmar Hamann gets, the better for me. He's getting volleyed around the place about them because of a Sky Sports reporter. But, yeah, listen, that's the way it goes. But, yeah, I think that might have been sparky enough. Sorry, I just want to read this comment from Gareth. He says, Gav, can you please give a mention to massive Reds fan Leona Harper, who's being buried tomorrow after the Crease Lock disaster on Friday. I was at the wake tonight and the house is full of LFC stuff. So, yeah, listen, Leona Harper, it'll be very emotional tomorrow, as it has been, I think, already this week for a couple of funerals. And, we've seen pictures of Leona in Liverpool jersey, and you know what, she's been buried tomorrow. Way too young, and everyone. I said this the other night, but I'll say it again. Everyone at the LFC Daytrippers passes on their condolences to Leona's family and all the other families affected by people they've lost, and families that live in that area that have been affected by that tragedy. So yeah, I'm more than happy to give that a shout out, and rest in peace to Leona and everyone else whose funeral it will be this week or probably into next week as well. 2-1, and like I said, I'm not overly worried, but I want something happened straight after 2-1, right? And I think it epitomised what's going on in Liverpool at the minute. Liverpool go 2 goals to 1 up, and it does a tip off, right? And it goes back to a Rangers player, and it ends up getting played forward. And I think it might be Harvey Elliott that hooks one over his head just to get rid of it, which is fine. He's under pressure. And the Rangers fella wins a header, and it's going towards... It's in between Gomez and Konate. No one else really near them. And I think Konate calls for it, and Gomez comes across and heads it. Right? Much more difficult header to, get distance on. And he puts it back in the area, and it gets headed back again. And Konate, instead of heading it then, lets it bounce as if he's going to let it run through. Signals towards Alisson to come and get it when the ball hasn't even gone into the box yet. Hesitates, gives it back to Alisson. Alisson has to clear it. Now, it's this really small thing. But I was looking at it going, hold on. Any other time we watch Liverpool play, right? Konate shouts for that and just heads that a fucking mile, right? Or... in a situation where the ball's going over Konate, he either takes that down and passes it, or he heads it back to Alisson. There's no kind of stopping or second guessing yourself, and it was just something where I thought that's still in us. That little bit of hesitation is still in us, and that's what's putting us under pressure. If we're doing that at the back for simple things like that, we're most definitely doing it in midfield when it comes to will I give that pass. We're definitely doing that in wide positions where will I put him in or will I cross it? There's indecision still there, and it actually started coming out of the team as the game went on. Maybe because of personnel and the scoreline, but it's just something to watch. And I think it's something that if we can get out of our game, just make decisive decisions, we'll be under a lot less threat no matter who we play. So it was just something I noticed straight after 2-1.
You see, when we have that hesitation or that indecision, it slows the game down, and we're not great when the game is slow. Our best football is quick 1-2 touch football, and even this season, as bad as we've been in games, there's been flashes of 5-10 minutes where we start pinging it around a bit, and we thought, and there's been a lot of false dawns where you think, oh, here we go, that's it now, the shackles are, and then we go back into the indecision. Not only what you've said there with Gomez and Konate, but there was a couple of instances in the second half with even Van Dijk where I think he actually comes and one bounces over his head. Yeah. There's another one where it's just a regular kind of routine kind of header where he just goes up and he nods it down to either Robertson or Tsimikas or somebody in midfield, and he heads it straight out of play. And it's just like there's a serious lack of confidence, if you ask me. And I think that's in that kind of Gomez Konate situation. There's a nervousness about them. Yeah. They're like, they don't want to be the next person to make a mistake. They're not assured. We're not assured in defence and I think I was watching it on Virgin Media too, and I think it was either a halftime or before the game, and they're saying that the Liverpool defence is a shambles. Now it is, but like it's when you hear it, like compared to what it was last year or the year before, and it's just like I thought we got rid of that when we signed Van Dijk and whatever, and like he came in and had that big massive impact on the team. It's scary to hear people talk about our defence being a shambles again. Yeah. I thought those days were behind us.
Yeah, it's just it's just I think, and I don't mind if say Van Dijk comes out and he would usually jump and he just headed down to a full back or into a midfield. I don't care if he heads that 30 yards down the pitch out for a throw in. Because I'd rather him just make a decision and head it. You know, rather than, oh, will I head it, will I not? Will I let it come across? Like, turning their body and letting the ball run past them. That's an absolute model for someone to just nip in the other side of you and take it off you, or you have to take them down and you're off. You know what I mean?
You walk through any public park on a Saturday or Sunday, and whether it's under 8s, under 9s, under 17s, 18s, or even seniors, when a ball gets played into defence like that, the first thing you'll hear, somebody on the sideline will shout was, "Don't let it bounce.
Yeah.
No bounce."
Yeah.
And we did that a few times today.
Yeah. But listen, there was bits, but I think it kind of went downwards as the game went on. And again, we have to say it, and we have to look at the opposition, but you beat what's in front of you, and it. You know, if we've won the game by, Jesus, a huge amount, right? But it's just the confidence that you get. And little percentages of improvement is where you start with, you know, because I think we've been quite low for a lot of this season. So those little percentages are good.
It's like you said, muscle memory. You hope it starts kind of even, and I know we'll get on to even some of the finishes later on in from someone that probably hasn't scored as many as he should have. It seemed like the old person. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he's remembered how to do it. And we've spoken at the start of the game where a 50,000 stadium in Ibrox of fans absolutely behind their team. The one thing I would say about them as well is when the team goes behind,
they're gone.
They do a complete 180.
Yeah.
So that is important as well, as that when we went 2-1 up, and then maybe the third one is they completely dropped off.
Key Plunkett says, "What's the story, lads? Great result. Being sweating all day that we've been beaten by this shower of shite. Bring on City, the gang of shite backs." Okay. Yeah, fair enough, Keith. But look, it goes 3, and I'm trying to remember these goals now, I'm going to be honest. But it goes 3, and Núñez gets one again. And I think it's so unselfish from Bobby Firmino.
Yeah, he could have,
he could have just said, "I'm going in. I'm just going to let this run across me, and I'm just going to go for it." But he doesn't. He just does a little flick to him and goes, "Here, you just knock that in," and it's a good finish. Really calm, because we've seen what have we said about Núñez, especially in probably this game last week in particular.
Snatching,
lashing at balls, hitting up. This one he just goes, "No, I'm not playing this game anymore with Alan McGregor," and he just rolls it across him into the far corner, and it makes it 3-1. And it's another goal from right, 2-2, and I know it's small sample size, but it's still 2-2. He's playing up front. He's learning more and more about the players around him, and I was delighted for him. Emma, because I just want him to play every game now.
Yeah. It's look, I'm in a lot of WhatsApp groups, and like, Jesus, 5-10 minutes into the game, it's like, oh, this Núñez is this and that, and I'm like, sometimes you just have to mute him. But it wasn't his best game. He did give away balls, but they all gave away balls. Do you know what I mean? So, and nobody talks about anybody else's price tag. Yeah. It's a horrible thing to have hanging over you. And let's face it, he's a young fella. He's 22 or 3, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still only young.
22, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
23.
Still only a young fella, like, do you know what I mean? But he sticks in there, like, do you know what I mean? He was getting stuck in. I thought the referee at the start was giving frees that weren't frees and not giving frees that were frees. And I thought at one stage there he was going to lose his head a little bit. Kind of threw his hands up in the air.
He was getting in a couple of tangles with Goldson, and you're kind of going, is that really a free? Goldson was getting a couple of decisions against him. You're like,
I tell you, there's one where your man Ryan, it's Ryan Jack, isn't it? Ryan Jack went sliding in, but continued on after the ball went, and he caught Núñez, and it was like, that's actually like, in this day and age, that's a foul. Do you know what I mean? Maybe 10 years ago it wasn't, but it's great to see that he's kind of he has learned, and I think he's even said himself that he's learned.
Yeah.
But like, he's going to come up against more kind of burly defenders that are going to try and test him. But look, he stuck in there, and he got his reward.
Yeah. We make a raft. That's his last touch, I think. 69-ish minutes, wasn't it? He comes off, Salah comes on, Jota comes on for... Who did Jota come on for? Carvalho, was it?
I'm just going to mute. Here's a bit of noise in the back.
Yeah, I'll look up the subs now. But Salah comes on, you have Jota comes on, Andy Robertson comes on, Thiago comes on. I just want to make sure I have this right, so I'm not. Let me see. Yeah, so you had got Robertson come on 68 along with Thiago, Salah. Jota comes on 73. Milner comes on 79. But we bring on those couple of players to freshen things up, and it was great to see Robertson back in the team, because he's been out for a little while. It was great to see him in. Thiago coming in for the last whatever, great. Jota coming on, great. Salah coming on, and Salah's needed a goal. He's needed a goal, and I don't think the keeper, I don't think the keeper's great for this goal, but it's proper Salah, isn't it? Where there's a bit of movement and he's it's a tight situation. He manages to get out of it and just scores. And the game was over, but I kind of looked at him and I went, yeah, he needs that as well. Doesn't matter how it goes in. If it ends 4-1 and we have Nunez scoring, we've Bobby scoring, we've Salah scoring, I'm absolutely all right with that. But he just keeps going. Then he just keeps going.
Fastest hat trick in Champions League history.
Is it?
6 minutes 12 seconds. Yeah, I think Lewandowski had the quickest before him. I think it was 8 minutes.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, and but the interesting thing is, and somebody else mentioned it earlier on the chat as well, is that when he comes on, he actually plays a little bit more central.
Yeah.
Than he has.
No, he's playing on the edge of that corner of that box. Yeah. That's where his starting position is. Yeah. Every time he tries to get it, he's in there, and when he gets in there, look what happens. I'm saying it weeks. Yeah, play him out wide, but you need to find a way when you're playing football to get Mo Salah on the corner of that box, and that's a starting position, and he can go across the box, he can go outside you, he can go directly at you, and he can just unleash your left foot at you. I think it's hugely important, Emma. I really, really do.
Yeah, no, he came on, and like I think you said on a pod the other night, that's where you want to see him play. But he was playing within the 18-yard box, the width of the 18-yard box, and you still had Elliott playing out where you would normally have Salah. And that's, look, I'm sure we'll talk about him. If anybody deserved the goal tonight, I thought it was Elliott. But even the types of goals that Salah scored tonight, it was kind of like it reminds you of the old Salah. Even that where he's surrounded, I think it's his second goal.
Yeah,
he's surrounded, and you're thinking, he's at the fucking waiting too long here. And next of all, he just.
Well, I don't know what the keeper's doing now.
I don't think he's expecting him to shoot. I think he's expecting him to square it.
The second one especially, it's nearly behind him and he kind of scoops it a little bit. Yeah. And I'm looking going, where the fuck is McGregor gone? Now it goes in, I was delighted, but I was genuinely looking, that goalkeeper does not know where his goal is. He couldn't have. He just couldn't have. But
I think it looked like he was going to square it across because it was, I don't know whether it was Carvalho or...
Maybe he took a step that way, thinking it gets squared and he's in a better position, but he made him look a bit foolish because it wasn't the strongest of shots. But he just kind of, maybe Salah gave him the eyes, I'm not too sure, but like you said, when you think he's that crowded, you think he's going to try to get a pass off, but he manages to get it away. But you're right though, the hat-trick goal he gets, that's proper Salah. And that's all about what Liverpool used to love doing, was concentrate something on one side and then bang, get it to Salah really quickly. And if you can get him to him quickly in that area on that corner of the box, he's going to get players one-on-one. He's going to isolate players. And they can't get too close because he'd kill them. And then he gets inside and he puts it across the keeper. The keeper's not even diving at this one. And that makes it 6.
So little backlift when he does. When he comes in from there, you literally blink and you miss it. It's whatever way he does it. He just disguises the fact that he takes it really early, and he disguises the fact that he's actually having a shot. Very little backlift. There's very little backlift on his second as well, and that's very hard for a keeper to read. And like you said, it can make keepers look silly because they're beaten before they even know they're beaten.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and that's 6-1. You're kind of going, fucking hell, where's this going now? Elliott gets his goal after a long, long wait, and I was watching on BT and it was McManaman, and I tried to zone out as much as I possibly can. It's a good move. It's a good move down the left. We kind of keep it. Thiago slots in Salah. Salah puts it across to Jota, who I don't know what he's trying to do. He should just bury it, but he doesn't. I think he tries to take a touch. Keeper gets it, comes out, and Elliott knocks it in, and it's offside. And I'm like, for what? You know what I mean? But then when they show the replay, I'm like, no, that's a goal. I don't know why they're waiting so long, but great for him as well, though. It's his first Champions League goal.
And he deserved it.
He deserved it, especially I felt on this. I think he was probably the one little bright bit in the first half, bar the goal from Firmino. I think Elliott was the one that was trying a few bits and looked a little bit of a threat. And then the second half, I thought he was really good. Keith says he has a hot question. Did Rangers take down the picture of the Queen from the changing room and replace her with King Charles, or have they got both? I'd say they got both. I'd say they have both. But why don't we ring them? We should ring Rangers tomorrow and see what the story is on the amount of pictures hung in the dressing room.
By the sounds of Keith's messages, I think we should get Keith to ring them now.
So do I. I think Keith might be on the. I don't think Keith's on the milk tonight. I'm just going to say it out loud. Passio had to listen to Andy Townsend, was probably just as bad. I don't mind Townsend. McManaman though, Jesus. But Elliott gets that goal. Look, it's really good for him. And you know something. They're human beings at the end of the day. You know, we expect them to turn up and play like robots every day, and they are human beings. And you know something, that a little thing like that for Elliott, there's little, you know, landmarks from him all the time. You know, he scores when one of his grandparents passed away, and he scores that goal against Bournemouth. He's got his league goals. You know, it's his first goal in the Champions League. These little things are huge for him, especially off the back of that injury last season. He'd be chalking these things off that he probably felt he should have got last season, and he's behind, and he's probably pushing himself to tick these off as quick as he can, and you know what, I'm really, really happy for him. And that's 7-1, and like I said, Ibrox is empty now. Liverpool fans are having a lovely time. How much do you take out with this victory though? Because we play Man City on Sunday. Pep is trying to tell us that Haaland is fucking tired or something like that, when he's definitely 100% playing. He's also come out and said it's the toughest test in world football, going to Anfield. Most definitely the toughest test in the Premiership anyway, going to Anfield. But what do we take from tonight? Do we take confidence from this? We're gonna have to, the team are gonna have to sit down and look at a few things that happened there tonight and still go, look, that has to cut out. But I could kind of see the confidence coming back into us from probably 55, 60 minutes on tonight. When we go 2-1, and then we go, even when we go 2-1, I thought the confidence came back into us and we started to look not completely like ourselves, but even the likes of Núñez looked like he was understanding more. Carvalho kind of came out of himself, and that can only be good for Sunday, can't it?
Yeah, we can get confidence from it, but I don't think the Klopp and the background, they're not going to allow them to get carried away with themselves. Like, let's not forget, we beat Bournemouth 9-0 at one stage this season.
Yeah.
So so it's kind of baby steps. I think you're right. With the last half hour or so of the game, we kind of nearly started stroking it about. You don't know how much that's to do with us being a lot more confident, and then probably Rangers thrown in the towel at the same time. Do you know what I mean? But you can only beat what's in front of you. But we were our diagonal balls were coming back. We were playing balls out to the way, like the balls that were getting intercepted in the first half and maybe kind of dishearten you. Everything was kind of landing where you wanted it to land in the second half. But it can, it's only a kind of a feel good factor. But again, look, they're professional footballers. They'll gain confidence from tonight, but they know that the test on Sunday is going to be a hell of a lot tougher than what they face tonight.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching that game tonight, and I can't see us. I don't know how we go into that game of 4 forwards. I just can't, and only because Fabinho doesn't look himself, Henderson doesn't look himself, and Thiago is probably the one you can rely on the most at the minute. Although he hasn't been out of this world, he's probably the one you can rely on the most. But I'd worry for Liverpool with Rodri, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in there against 2 of those 3. Even if Firmino's dropping back, I think he might go back to the 4-3-3. He has to match them up.
The beauty of it is, and we spoke about this on the Fatback 4, and Shawnee in particular was saying, just keep us guessing. If we're guessing, the opposition is guessing. Now Pep has a decision to make. What way are we setting up on Sunday? He's not going to know.
Yeah, and the only thing is, the only thing I would say is that, and someone said it in the chat earlier, they said City are leaking a few goals as well. Like, it's not like they're watertight themselves. Do you know what I mean?
I think they've conceded the same amount as us, have they?
Yeah, maybe.
I think they have.
Do we go out and do we go out and go? You see, we could go out with the attitude of nothing to lose, and we could lose. You know, and we do have something to lose. Like, that whole nothing to lose thing is probably fucking a myth. It really is, when you're at this standard of football. But like, yeah, maybe keeping them guessing. But I'd worry if we sat back against them because of the fella they have in the middle of the goal.
Well, they have the capability.
They have the capability of just putting the ball anywhere in that box, and he's just fucking there.
Yeah.
So would we be better off in saying, do you know what? Let's just go for them, and we just have to go for them and try pin them in some way and cut off everything we can to him.
Cut off the supply to him anyway.
Yeah. Jonathan says we can start slowly Sunday. We could be 2 down after 20. Yeah, I do. Sam feels that Klopp will stick with this system. If he done it this way away to Arsenal, he will do it at home to City. We done it away to City before as well and drew 1-1. Yeah, we're in a lot better form. Yeah, it's a lot different than I don't know. I suppose as the week goes on, I'll probably fucking change my mind 4 or 5 times on it. You know, we're doing a show on Friday, doing a preview of this game, and no doubt what I'm saying tonight, I'll say the exact opposite on Friday because I usually wake up on Friday and then I go, oh no, I think I was wrong there, didn't I? I might go this way, and it's just one of those games. Stephen Lennon says it's a shootout. It could be one of those where Liverpool could just go for them and they could go for us, and you know, I think we've seen that before where we've gone end to end and it ends 1-1 because of some fucking superb defending and last ditch stuff. But I think if this was a shootout, this could end up 4-4. Because I think it could be a Haaland sort of Nunes shootout, and I think if either of them get chances, they'll bury them. So it'll be interesting. But look, it's only Wednesday night.
I don't look. Yeah, we're not in great form, and I don't think City have played amazingly this season either, other than like Haaland's goals.
Yeah.
But in the last 5-6 years, when hasn't this game had the ability of going either way?
Yeah.
Like we could go out and smash them 4-0 on Sunday. They could smash us 4 or 5-0.
Yeah.
It could be a 1-1 draw. It could be a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
But that's the way it's been for the last 5-6 years. So it's not a derby, and everybody says Liverpool's not a derby. It's not a derby, but form goes out the window for these games. Like we saw the Arsenal game. We didn't play great on Sunday, but
yeah, I don't think form does go out the window in this one. I don't think it does because the form of these two teams is usually fucking brilliant, and you usually get you don't really see bad Liverpool City games. You know. There's a couple of things there.
As long as it's not the COVID result when they stuck, I think it was 5, wasn't it? They beat us 5-0, empty stadium.
Yeah, they beat us 4-1 or something. Yeah. John feels we should play the way we did back in 78, in pure counter attack, and Darwin play him on the left with Bobby through the middle. I don't fancy us going in there unless we think that Bobby can stand on Rodri and 2 of the midfield 3 can look after Bernardo and De Bruyne. But De Bruyne is going to spend his time trying to get as close to their right hand forward as he can, along with their right back, and trying to overload and get that ball into Haaland. That's what he's going to try to do. So if Liverpool have anything about them, they're going to make sure that they do not let him go wide. If he ends up wide with the ball, you make sure you send him backwards or inside. You have to. Otherwise, because that's what they look for all the time, is the overload on either side, particularly with De Bruyne, who can put a ball anywhere, and Haaland will be there. You know, he's like fucking, I don't know what he's like in the box. His legs and fucking heads everywhere, that he's going for. But listen, it could be one of those. We could be 2 down after 20. We could be 2 up after 20. You don't know. You really don't. But let's see. And sorry, it was somewhere there. John says we're in shit form, but even Pep still said this is still the hardest game for City. He would be approaching Liverpool like it's the prime Liverpool. And yeah, Pep can overthink these as well. In fairness to him, he can come out and go, I'm playing Haaland up front and I'm playing fucking something mad like on the right hand side, or I'll put an extra midfielder in there. Or you never know what he's going to do. But if Pep has anything about him, he'd probably try overload us in the middle of that park and then see where he goes from there. But man of the match tonight?
Elliott for me.
Okay.
It's a tweet between himself and Bobby, but I have to give it to Elliott because I think he was thrown in again in the Inter game last year in the Champions League and probably didn't have the best of games. Nope. He had a particularly good, probably the standout in the first half, even though it didn't have to do much to stand out. But certainly in the second half, just his first touch in a lot of cases is absolutely ridiculous. Like the way he kind of gets it out of his feet early and kind of spinning like these. I know it's Rangers, but he's done it to other players as well. These seasoned pro, adult men, I know he's an adult himself now, 18 or 19 or whatever, but he just looks so comfortable on a football pitch. It looks like he's been here before, basically.
Okay. I have to give it to Firmino because he gets that goal that changes the game in a massive way. If that goes to 30, 35, 40 minutes, I think we're in trouble. So I have to give it to him. But I know you're going with Elliott. I really liked him. Good in the first half. I thought he was really good second half. Before we go, let me see. Oh yeah, the LFC Daytrippers beanie hats. They've been ordered. They will be with us around the 1st of December, and we'll be posting them out ASAP. There's a very, very limited amount of this. We've only done this as a test to see how we can get them and how quick we can get rid of them. So there's a very limited amount, all right? If the link is in the description there for our Linktree account, so if you click on that link for Linktree, you will see everything you need to know about the Daytrippers. All our socials, our videos, our latest videos, our YouTube, our audio, our LinkedIn, everything is in the one link. But the very top of that link, when you click it, is the beanie hats. As I said, they're brilliant. If you know anything about weareliverpool.ie, the quality of their stuff is excellent. There's one of their beanies there that he makes. But I have two of them, and weareliverpool.ie, the stuff is excellent quality. So I know the quality of what we're getting. The design is really good, and as I said, very, very limited run. So if you want them, there's a couple gone already. So if you want them and you want to pre-order, what will happen is you'll pre-order, you'll pay for them as soon as they come in. They're going to get posted straight back out to you. So go and check them out. The link is in the description, and keep your head warm over Christmas and stuff like that. The competition that we have running for Bookmakers TV, we done it last night where you had to put secret into the comments after the show. There is a tweet on our Twitter page about this competition. If you follow us and Bookmakers TV, you're in with a chance to win a mystery box from the Mystery Short Company. You can do that on Twitter to get yourself an entry. So follow them and you get yourself an entry, right? That's one thing. Or Bobby is the word tonight. So after the show, put Bobby into the comments. And if you've done secret last night and you've done Bobby tonight and you've done followed them on Twitter, you get 3 entrants. It's simple as that. It closes at noon tomorrow, where we will take all the names, we'll put them into a hat. We might have to record a video doing the draw just to show you how it works and everything was okay. And then, it was all good. Someone will win that. If they win, we'll verify it with you. There's ways of verifying on YouTube, I've heard. And then we get that sent out to you via Bookmakers TV. Gamble responsibly, but if you do like gambling, check out Bookmakers TV, because they provide you with all the best offers if you're signing up for an account with the Bookmakers, but also the best prices on all different things going on, like football. It's like a compare website. It's brilliant. But do gamble responsibly. Anything else before we go? What are you laughing at?
Keith's definitely on the points.
Yeah.
He thinks Milner will start on.
Keith's just trying to wind me up now. Go away. Anything else before we go, Emma?
No. I was dreading Sunday. I'm not getting overly confident after tonight, but it'll show that we can still do it. Do you know what I mean? It's still there. We still have it. So
if anyone lives in Liverpool and plays golf, get in contact with me, will you? I asked that in the Telegram group earlier and no one responded to me. There is a reason why I'm asking. So if you're not in the Telegram group but you're in Liverpool and you like golf, let me know. I just have an idea for when I go over there and I wanted to run it by a few people. Nothing else from me. That has been Full-Time Reds. Rangers 1, Liverpool 7. That's 7 in brackets. More or less sewing up the Champions League group now. We've qualified out of it, but we need a point to qualify. Tomorrow we should have a viewer's voice. Again, I haven't lined up anyone for that yet, but I'll do it tonight or tomorrow. Friday we will have the Premier League forecast. I'm on that. I'm on tomorrow as well. Nothing on Saturday, and possibly definitely the Fatback 4 Sunday, but possibly 2 shows on Sunday after the Man City game. Hit the like button on your way out. If you've hit unlike just to bug the shit out of me, take it off or leave it there. It doesn't bother, whatever. And subscribe, because if you subscribe, it helps us, honestly. It helps us to bring you this content that we do for free. It helps us to continue bringing you that for free. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.